now, happy vibes, my friends. Welcome back to my podcast, Vibes by Alicia, where I believe in spreading killer vibes to light you up and give you that kick in the ass to craft the life you wish to live. This sacred space is dedicated to the lovers of all things business, travel, and lifestyle. Hey, it's about time you get the scoop on the latest vibes, so let's get to it. And today we're going to do a small episode. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a kick-ass episode, something that I've been wanting to do. And it's the episode that you can come to whenever you are stuck in something or you're afraid of going to a meeting or you're just not feeling motivated in the day. It is your kick-ass episode. It is where you come in for the motivation and you get those vibes and they kick into gear. It is not easy to get up one day and do things. And so I want this episode to be the one that you go to every single time you need that motivation and you go. And I'm going to be doing a few of these along the way. They're going to be a little bit shorter than most, but they're really meant to get you going and motivate you and push you and get you through. And today I'm going to start with a book that I read a few years ago, and it's a really great book by David Goggins. He's an author and he's also a SEAL. He is a SEAL. So David Goggins has a book. It's called Can't Hurt Me. And I read this maybe 2-3 years ago, and it really helped me to kind of get myself going and motivating myself into doing things that I would typically not do. It's a story of how he transcended poverty and abuse to become one of the top endurance athletes. His story reveals how mastering your mind, hard work, and becoming friends with pain can help you achieve the unimaginable. And he really has achieved the unimaginable. His story is just really amazing. He joined the Air Force at once. He fell through with sickle cell anemia, and then he went through training to serve in the Air Force until eventually he became a Navy SEAL. And he didn't become a Navy SEAL right away. It took him a few years to become a Navy SEAL. And so that's where, it really made him one of the toughest men on the planet. But he really believes that you can basically do anything in this world if the mindset is there. And so one of the things that we're going to be talking about today is like really getting your mindset and visualizing what it means for you to visualize where you want to go. And if you wake up one day and one morning you're just not excited about confronting something, maybe a challenge, maybe you're afraid of reaching somebody on the phone, maybe doing a cold call, maybe you have a tough conversation that you need to have with somebody. This is a great way for you to kind of like get yourself visualizing what are the positive outcomes and what are good things that can come. And so it's the start of 2022. So one of the things that I do every morning is I visualize what I want my day to look like and what I want my goals to be. A lot of people do that. They manifest and they visualize, and they also do affirmations. So I'm going to go through a visualization exercise that he has. It's called challenge number 5, and it's in his book. Like I said, it's David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. And so this is the challenge. And so it's challenge 5. If you go and you have the book, you'll find it there. You can always Google it and just find it as well as you Google. So he says, it's time to visualize. Again, the average person thinks 2,000 to 3,000 thoughts per hour. Rather than focusing on bullshit you cannot change, imagine visualizing the things you can. Choose any obstacle in your way or set a new goal and visualize overcoming and achieving it. Before I engage in any challenging activity, I start by painting a picture of what my success looks and feels like. I'll think about it every day, and that feeling propels me forward when I'm training, competing, or taking on any task I choose. But visualization isn't simply about daydreaming of some trophy ceremony, real or metaphorical. You must also visualize the challenges that are likely to arise and determine how you will attack those problems when they do. That way you can be as prepared as possible on your journey. When I show up for a foot race now, I drive the entire course first by visualizing success, but also potential challenges, which helps me control my thought process. You can't prepare for everything, but if you engage in strategic visualization ahead of time, you'll be as prepared as you possibly can be. That also means being prepared to answer the simple questions. Why are you doing this? What is driving you towards this achievement? What does the darkness you're using as fuel come from? What has calloused your mind? You need to have those answers at your fingertips when you hit a wall of pain and doubt. To push through, you'll need to channel your darkness, feed off of it, and lean on your calloused mind. Remember, visualization will never compensate for work undone. You cannot visualize lies. All the strategies I employ to answer the simple questions and win the mind game are only effective because I put in the work. It's a lot more than mind over matter. It takes relentless self-discipline to schedule suffering into your day every day. But if you do, you'll find that at the other end of that suffering is a whole other life just waiting for you. This challenge doesn't have to be physical, and victory doesn't always mean you came in first place. It can mean you finally overcome a lifelong fear, or any other obstacle that made you surrender in the past. Whatever it is, tell the world your story about how you created your armored mind and where it's taken you. So this is really about creating the challenges in your mind before you confront them, before you face them. There could be a conversation you needing to have with somebody that you're just afraid of having. So if you visualize in your head what that conversation can look like, you can also be ready in your mind to strategize about how you're going to answer some of the questions that arise. Or if they put you in a tough predicament, or they put you in a tough position, how you're going to talk yourself out of that position, how you're going to talk yourself through it. If, for example, you're going in for an interview and you're, a little afraid or a little scared of what that interview is going to be like, you visualize the interview and what the questions might be, things that they might be talking to you about, and things that you might confront. What you see is what you get. So what you see in your mind is what you're going to get. So don't ever underestimate the power of visualization. So all of us have times where we're facing a challenge, or dealing with something unfamiliar, or we're struggling to believe that we're talented enough or smart enough to achieve a successful outcome. That happens to us all the time. There's moments when I, have a meeting with somebody that I want on my podcast, or somebody that I want to sponsor. And I have to really face those doubts and face those obstacles and those things that I keep thinking about that are only holding me back. And so I visualize what it's going to be like. And so if I start with the right attitude, I begin to believe in myself, and I begin that visualization process and mental imagery in my head. It starts to boost my confidence. And it's a scientific fact. I mean, something that has actually been studied, that every time you visualize yourself, or you manifest how you're going to be, or how you're going to confront something, you begin to build your self-esteem and your performance. You start to think about this technique, which a lot of athletes use, by the way, as a tool to become more confident. Athletes use it right before they're in competition. They start to visualize how they're going to be shooting a ball, or how they're going to be batting, how they're going to be on the mat, if they're a gymnast, that kind of thing. It's a principle called visualization. So you create a mental image of the future event. If you want to win, if you want to perform well, if you want to focus and imagine yourself being congratulated by friends, being proud of yourself that you kept going and you confronted something that you didn't want to do, you visualize that success over and over in your mind. And you wake up thinking about that success, as opposed to thinking about what can go wrong. You start thinking about what can go right. And even if something doesn't go your way, you always think in your mind, well, I prepared for it. I tried my best. I gave it my all, and I strategized, and it still didn't work out. That's okay, because at least for yourself, you prepared for it and you give yourself. And those are some of the things that people that are high achievers and type A personalities, and people that really go for things and achieve the highest levels, they're always visualizing themselves being successful. They never visualize the negative. They always see what's positive, what's simple. So you become the star. You become the star of that place, of the situation. If you're going in for an interview, if you're going to do a speaking engagement, and some of us get very nervous doing that. A lot of times when I'm going to be on a podcast and I'm a little afraid of what I'm going to say, or I'm just not confident enough, you have to find a really comfortable and quiet place to relax, where you're not going to be interrupted. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and give yourself some time to settle down and calm your mind. You have to visualize yourself getting ready for that event or that moment. Be sure to imagine this from your own perspective, and watch yourself as if you're in a movie. So that's a really good visualization tactic. See yourself as if you're the star of that movie. Make a stand. Picture the place where you're about to perform the activity in your mind. It could be an office. It could be at a party. Maybe you have party what is it called? Social anxiety. Maybe you do not want to be there, but see yourself standing with a strong, confident posture. Visualize yourself walking towards a situation with your head up. Always have your head up. That is such an important thing. Now run through the entire event in your mind and wish it to happen from start to finish. So if you just take a moment, sit down, visualize, walking into a meeting, or walking into a party. Maybe you're going to go into something that's not, you're not the most comfortable in, because maybe you don't know somebody. Maybe you're meeting people for the first time. Maybe it's a networking event. Maybe it's a job opportunity that you really want. You have to really walk in with the confidence that you belong there, and that it really makes sense, because I always do that. I always feel like I'm always taking on a little bit of an alter ego when I'm confronting something, just because that alter ego gives me the confidence to walk into things. And people with confidence are always practicing confidence. They don't have confidence all the time. Turn on all your senses. So visualize Visualization doesn't just have to focus on the visual. Actually, you can engage in something that is a technique where you can smell, hear, and feel. So immerse yourself in that mental image as you are and start to feel it and hear it. And what are you smelling? What do you see? Make it as detailed as possible so that that picture becomes what's reality in your mind. And practice. I practice visualization all the time because I'm always going into places that I don't know and I'm not comfortable. But I always feel that if I visualize myself in that place or visualize myself speaking in public, I always feel comfortable and I feel like, okay, I'm meant to be here. This is where I belong. And it isn't about wishful thinking. It's not picturing your success. It's just mentally practicing the activity you want to do well and actually seeing that outcome after it's possible. The more you practice these techniques, the better you're going to get at it. So it's something you can practice over and over again. These are things that I do in my own life that help me, that motivate me, that get me going. I don't wake up every single day ready to go. I don't wake up every day motivated. But I do practice these things that motivate me and push me and visualize me. And sometimes I cut out pictures or I'll go on my Pinterest board and I'll start pinning pictures of things that I want to see for myself. 2022, I'm setting goals for what I want. I'm definitely thinking about the next place, the next thing that I'm doing. So this is important for me. Visualizing, looking at things. If you're interested in the book, you definitely need to check it out. It's called Can't Stop Me. And I just talked about one of the challenges that he has in there. He has multiple challenges, different things that he does. And if you want to follow him on Instagram as well, he's got, so many followers and his life is just so inspiring and amazing. And I love to read about those kinds of things. But, these techniques that I just told you about visualizing and manifesting and looking at ways you can perform at the highest levels. I think those are motivations that you can definitely take for yourself and use and get out there and kick ass and definitely, become that person that is the influencer of your own life. You can do all these things so that you can craft the life you wish to live. So take it on. Let me know if it helps, if it works for you, and keep on kicking ass. Love you guys. I can't wait to hear from you. And if you like what we're doing, go on my Instagram at Alicia. I'm going to become creating a group, a community. So stay tuned for that. And also, if you want to be a sponsor, let me know. You can also go at tbbyalicia.com and you can see some of the different sponsorships that we have there. There's different tiers of sponsorship. If you have a business or if you yourself would like to sponsor, please go over there and check it out. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Love you all and keep on vibing.
You know what time it is.